Next on Worcester News tonight, remembering the lives lost in the September 11th terrorist attacks with ceremonies and moments of silence across central Massachusetts. Plus, 1 week after Hurricane Dorian hits the Bahamas and the Carolinas, rescued animals are ready for adoption. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. The summer sun and heat return, but it's not going to stick around for long. It looks like temperatures are going to drop overnight. Let's get a first look at our local forecast for more.
I'm meteorologist Chris Gloninger. Now as we're entering into autumn, we are losing more and more daylight each day. In fact, during the month of September, we lose the most daylight at 1 hour and 22 minutes. October, the second most at an hour and 19 minutes, and then we trail off as we go a little bit deeper into the fall and we begin winter. Another sign of the times, our countdown, 11 days to fall. Yom Kippur is 27 days away. Now Halloween, hopefully you have your costumes picked out, 50 days away. Thanksgiving only 78 days away. Now coming up into your full forecast, we'll be talking about a return to some summertime warmth, not just the day we had today, but in fact the long range forecast. We are expecting a significant warm up and perhaps a pattern change for the second half of September. I'll talk about all of those forecast details coming up in a few minutes.
18 years ago today, the nation changed forever. People across the country remember where they were during the September 11th terrorist attacks, including many first responders. Their brothers and sisters made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, fire departments across central Massachusetts held ceremonies to pay their respects. Our Chandler Walsh joins us in Worcester now with more. Chandler.
Olivia, local fire chiefs hope people take pause today in memory of the nearly 3,000 lives lost on 9/11. They say it's an event we can't forget and need to learn from. Fire departments across central Massachusetts have a moment of silence in remembrance of 9/11. In Worcester, firefighters honor the victims, including 343 of their brothers in red.
I went to many of the funerals out there. It's heartbreaking and it was devastating.
It's been 18 years since the terrorist attacks. People on departments here have vivid memories.
When the towers fell, I knew there was firefighters inside, and I still get emotional to this day thinking about that exact moment.
I remember going to work in the evening in Worcester, and it was very somber, and the day shift guys had, affixed flags to all of the ambulances, and it was very sad. But I remember everything about the shift and the people I saw that night.
2 Westboro residents were killed when their flight was hijacked and flown into the Twin Towers. Westboro Fire held a ceremony by their 9/11 memorial Wednesday morning. The memorial includes a steel beam from the World Trade Center. Captain Dan Hare says people gather at the memorial often to pay respects.
We'll come out at night for activities or go on calls, and you'll see people just milling around, checking it out. There's been a little bit more activity lately, but even throughout the year, you'll see people coming through here.
Though it's been years, Worcester Chief Michael Lavoie hopes people remember to honor first responders who went to work and made the ultimate sacrifice.
First responders put themselves in harm's way. No matter what the situation, no matter how bad it is, we're there to save lives. Unfortunately, that took a bad turn.
Flags are flown at half-staff today. The Worcester Fire Department says their thoughts are with the fallen and those who still suffer from the attacks. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A ceremony at the State House honors victims of the 9/11 attack. Flags were lowered to half-staff, and then the names of the 206 victims with ties to Massachusetts were read aloud. And this afternoon, family members laid a wreath at the public garden. Abby Nisgoda has more.
From somber ceremonies to quiet reflections, there are countless ways to remember all that was lost 18 years ago. But Cindy McGinty, who lost her husband Mike in the North Tower, would rather be here.
This is what Mike would want us to be doing, not wallowing.
She and her son joined hundreds of volunteers on the Greenway in Boston to make care packages for those who've served and are still serving. For them, giving helps with the healing.
That's how we take back the day, by doing good things for each other.
And seeing volunteers who were born after September 11th means everything to those who lived through it. Many here helping are in high school.
It's so important not to forget because we have to keep those people in our memories.
Making 9/11 education mandatory, a big push for Christy Coombs, whose husband Jeff was on Flight 11.
We want this taught earlier in the U.S. history program. It's necessary that the kids learn this is their history, but it's our lifetime.
Coombs also spent the day giving back, stopping by a blood drive at Fenway Park along with the governor.
9/11 will be with us forever.
18 years later, McGinty will never forget, but she hopes everyone also remembers the goodness that came after.
In the minutes afterwards, how America came together. It wasn't red, it wasn't blue, it was the United States of America.
There are also several ceremonies happening this evening, including a candlelight procession in the Seaport at the Massachusetts Fallen Heroes Memorial. In the Boston Public Garden, I'm Abby Nisgo to Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester police are asking for the public's help identifying a body found near Granite Street Tuesday. Police say the body appears to be a middle-aged white male with short, thinning brown hair. Police are treating the death as suspicious. They were called to the scene Tuesday morning after firefighters found a body there while responding to a call. An autopsy is being performed today. Anyone with information is asked to contact Worcester Police. Police identified the victim of a weekend shooting as 37-year-old Juan Mendez. Two men now charged with his murder faced a judge in Worcester District Court today. Worcester police say they arrested Juan Gutierrez and Kenneth Vasquez in connection to last week's fatal shooting on Country Club Boulevard. They were arrested Tuesday, one in the area of Endicott Street, the other near Lake Avenue. Both are being held without bail. Familiar faces finish in the top spots of Worcester's preliminary election. Incumbents in both the city council and school committee races fared well, along with some first-time candidates. Our Cam Jandro has a recap of Tuesday's preliminary election.
Incumbents took the top spots in the city council at-large race in Tuesday's preliminary election. Mayor Joe Petty led the field, earning more than 5,000 votes.
I think we've worked hard over the last 2 years. The city's going in the right direction. We have a lot of good people and a lot of good projects that come to fruition, and we're building schools. We're bringing the Red Sox here.
Kate Toomey, Gary Rosen, Christian King, Mo Bergman, and former District 1 councilor Tony Economou finished in the top 6. First-time candidate Atel Hajii finished 7th. Overall, voter turnout was the lowest in recent memory. Only 8.69% of the city's registered voters went to the polls.
I know I've been all over the place trying to encourage people to get out and vote. I don't know how to take it. I don't know whether people are just happy with what they have.
It's the only way to express your democracy. And in a city like Worcester, municipal elections count.
The preliminary narrowed the number of candidates down to 12. There are 6 at-large seats, and voters will have their choice again on November 5th.
And I think the important thing is to make sure that we as candidates come out and folks know that we're willing to be held accountable. What we run for is what we believe in.
Gotten a lot of great responses on the phones, on the line, at the polls, so I feel really good.
Now, just like the city council race, the school committee was knocked down to 12 candidates last night. Veterans Jack Foley and John Monfredo were the 2 top vote getters in that race. Laura Clancy, looking for her first term in the school committee, finished in 6th. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
We are waiting to see who secured the 12th and final at-large council spot for November's general election. Unofficial results show Ralph Tishone and Evan Corrigan tied with 933 votes. The city's election commission says they are going through the provisional ballots and expect to have a winner soon. Governor Baker nominating attorney Jen Caissie of Oxford for Clerk Magistrate of the Dudley District Court. Baker says Caissie has more than 20 years of legal experience in the public and private sectors. She has represented the 7th District on the Governor's Council since 2010. The District Court hears a wide range of criminal, civil, housing, and other types of cases. The state is ordering health providers to report all suspected cases of vaping-related lung disease. The Department of Public Health says they are looking into 10 possible cases here. They're hoping a mandate will give them a better sense of how widespread the problem is. The move comes after 6 people died and more than 400 were sickened across the country. Doctors at St. Vincent Medical Group say the numbers are concerning and expect to see cancers and other conditions caused by vaping.
The lungs are not meant for anything else other than air and maybe a little steam, right? So how do we know that even these apparently benign chemicals are going to they are really benign? We'll only find out maybe 5 or 10 years from now and see what their effects are going to be.
The state's DPH commissioner says she hopes the mandate will allow more necessary information to be collected and assessed to reduce the potential risks and harms. Earlier this week, city leaders agreed Worcester Public Schools will not hold organized outdoor activities after dusk. Many communities have already moved sporting events to 4 o'clock or 4:30 start times because of the risk of EEE. Several colleges in Worcester County have not moved their times, though. Worcester State University says they're still monitoring the situation.
We were looking at a number of options in terms of planning, and that could be moving practices to the morning, sort of expanding our footprint with outdoor practice sites, moving on the grass field so that we can get more practices in the earlier part of the day.
The state's Department of Agricultural Resources is doing more aerial spraying starting last night into next week in parts of Worcester County. Several shelters across the state took in animals when Hurricane Dorian hit, and after being checked out, most are ready for adoption. More than a dozen are at Second Chance Animal Shelter in East Brookfield. Our Gretchen LaRosa stopped by the shelter today. She joins us now with more. Gretchen.
Olivia, Hurricane Dorian did not only affect people living along the southern seacoast. Local animal shelters are looking to rescue pets affected by the storm and find them new homes.
We took 17 of them, which are up here now. They've just been medically evaluated and they're ready for adoption.
Second Chance Animal Shelter partners with the ASPCA to help rescue animals in need during or after natural disasters. President and founder Cheryl Blancato says cats displaced by Hurricane Dorian are in need of new homes.
So we loaded up the crates, brought them down, and then took back 17 cats off the plane that had flown from Hilton Head up to Maryland.
The pets go through a lengthy process to ensure they are fit for adoption.
Had to undergo a 48-hour state-mandated quarantine for anything out of state, and then our vet checks them over one more time, make sure they get all their medical needs met, and then they come up for adoption.
College roommates stopped by the shelter Wednesday to adopt a cat. They say they are looking forward to giving a rescue pet a loving home.
Definitely wanted to save any animal possible, and I think adopting is the best route to go. We just got to Worcester, the school year just started, and we figured it'd be a good home for it.
There are 15 cats left waiting for adoption. Second Chance Animal Shelter is putting out a plea to pet lovers.
There's a lot of animals in need here, and it's a great thing to do is to help another animal in need and take them home.
Now, the Second Chance Animal Shelter also offers dogs and bunnies for adoption. They encourage anyone looking for a pet to visit their website and fill out an adoption survey. In the studio, Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.